Britain's government is in turmoil after a second senior aide to Prime Minister Keir Starmer resigned in just 24 hours, deepening a political crisis triggered by the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. On February 8th, Starmer's powerful Chief of Staff, McSweeney, stepped down, accepting responsibility for advising the appointment of Peter Mandelson as Britain's ambassador to the United States, despite Mandelson's known links to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The resignation followed the release of U.S. Justice Department files on January 30th, which revealed fresh details about communications between Epstein and Mandelson. Those disclosures have shaken Westminster and placed Starmer's judgment under intense scrutiny. In a public statement, McSweeney admitted he had given the Prime Minister flawed advice and said the decision had damaged public trust in Britain's institutions. On February 9th, Starmer's Director of Communications, Allan, also resigned, saying he was stepping aside to allow a new team to be built at Downing Street. Opposition leaders have seized on the chaos. Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch accused Starmer of making terrible decisions, while Reform UK leader Nigel Farage said the Prime Minister's authority was collapsing.
Jeffrey Epstein, convicted paedophile, and Peter Mandelson continued to call this man his best pal, despite him being convicted of child prostitution. The real question is, how could the Prime Minister have appointed him our ambassador after all that? Labour tried to pull the wool over your eyes. Tonight, Conservatives forced Number 10 to come clean. We won. Despite the Prime Minister's best efforts, the government won't be marking its own homework or hiding behind something as vague as international relations. Starmer wanted secrecy because secrecy is his shelter. The Prime Minister signed off this appointment. This was not an accident. It was a choice. And the Prime Minister did not have the backbone to say no to his Chief of Staff and Mandelson protege, McSweeney. Maybe he just didn't care. That is not leadership. We are forcing the truth to come out, and we will make the Prime Minister own every line of it. And someone needs to lose their job for this.
I also wonder whether, in emails to Epstein, he talked about the security apparatus that exists underneath Number 10 and at the heart of Whitehall. That is information that is of national security importance. And so I think there is reason to ask the question whether Mandelson has not broken the Official Secrets Act. And I'd like to know whether Lord Hermer would be happy and satisfied for a prosecution to proceed on that basis. I think it's that serious.
Even within Labour, MPS are questioning whether this is a single mistake or a deeper failure of leadership. The controversy has now taken a legal turn. British police have opened an investigation into allegations that Mandelson shared market-sensitive information with Epstein during the global financial crisis of 2009 and 2010. Starmer has apologised to Epstein's victims, saying he had been misled about the true nature of Mandelson's relationship with the disgraced financier, admitting he did not know the depths and darkness of the connection.
The whole House will be disgusted by the latest revelations about Jeffrey Epstein. All of us want to see his victims get justice. But the political decision to appoint Epstein's close associate, Peter Mandelson, as Britain's ambassador to Washington goes to the very heart of this Prime Minister's judgment. When he made that appointment, was he aware that Mandelson had continued his friendship even after Epstein's conviction for child prostitution?
Simple question. Mr. Speaker, let me start where I must, with the victims of Epstein. And all of our thoughts are with them. Can I also say our thoughts are with all those who lost jobs, savings and livelihoods in the aftermath of the 2008 financial crash. To learn that there was a cabinet minister leaking sensitive information at the height of the response to the 2008 crash is beyond infuriating. And I am as angry as the public and any member of this House. Mandelson betrayed our country, our Parliament and my party. Mr. Speaker, he lied repeatedly to my team when asked about his relationship with Epstein before and during his tenure as ambassador. I regret appointing him. If I knew then what I know now, he would never have been anywhere near government. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, yesterday, the Cabinet Secretary, with my support, took the decision to refer material to the police. And there is now a criminal investigation. I've instructed my team to draft legislation to strip Mandelson of his title and wider legislation to remove disgraced peers. And this morning, I've agreed with His Majesty the King that Mandelson should be removed from the list of Privy Councillors on grounds that he's brought the reputation of the Privy Council into disrepute.
Badenoch.
Mr. Speaker, I asked the Prime Minister a very specific question. Did he know that Mandelson had continued his friendship with Epstein after the conviction? He says if he knew then what he knows now, but he did know. In January 2024, a journalist from the Financial Times informed the Prime Minister that Mandelson had stayed in Epstein's house even after that conviction for child prostitution. So did the Prime Minister conveniently forget this fact, or did he decide it was a risk worth taking?
Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, as the House would expect, we went through a process. There was a due diligence exercise, and then there was security vetting by the security services. What was not known was the depth, the sheer depth and extent of the relationship. He lied about that to everyone for years. And new information was published in September showing the relationship was materially different to what we'd been led to believe. When the new information came to light, I sacked him. But we did go through a due diligence exercise. The points that are being put to me were dealt with within that exercise. In response to the humble address this afternoon, I intend to make sure that all of the material is published. Mr. Speaker, the only exemptions are national security, if it would prejudice national security. My first duty is obviously to keep this country safe. And when we drafted humble addresses, we always put an exemption for national security. But also anything that will prejudice international relations. Mr. Speaker, you in the House will appreciate that in the course of discussions country to country, there are very sensitive issues of security, intelligence and trade which cannot be disclosed without compromising the relationship between the two countries or a third country. Mr. Speaker, so that I can be totally open with the House, I should also disclose that the Metropolitan Police have been in touch with my office this morning to raise issues about anything that would prejudice their investigations. We're in discussion with them about that, and I hope to be able to update the House, but I do think I should make that clear to the House at this point, because those discussions are ongoing.
Shall I clear that up?